Well, welcome to another tutorial from Rommana software. In this tutorial, I'd like to show you how Rommana would help you manage your documents and possibly relate them to requirements and other artifacts within the project. What you are looking at here is the main project screen one more time. And if you look at the menu bar in the top here, documents and models are here. But before you can create a document or a model within Rommana, by the way, a model within Rommana, as we're going to see in a little bit, is things like a decision table, an entity relationship diagram, a screen design, which is also treated as a document. Rommana makes a slight distinction between documents, which are like Word documents, PDF documents, any other kind of text documents, versus models which describe some aspect of the system, whether it is a user interface model or a data model or a process model or a Visio diagram or possibly a decision table or a decision tree or whatever it is. Okay, but there is a seamlessness in the treatment of documents and models. Before you can create a model or a document, you go here on the project management screen, and there is a function right here on the project management level that says manage models and document types. If you click on that, it'll allow you to establish the different types of documents and or models within the projects. So if I were to scroll down here, for example, these are all the different types that you can have. Those are, by the way, changeable. You can delete and add. If you click just to delete here in front of this, then that means that you're never going to have a business design document, or you don't have a design specification. You can add anything else. There are 2 pages here. We simply paged them so that you don't have to scroll down. So here is a second page of the list down here. So there is about roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the first screen there was about I believe 10. So there's about 17 different types of models. But guess what? Here, for example, there's Microsoft Project Plan, Master Test Plan, and Test Suites. You can do whatever kind of documents. I can simply, in order to create a new type of document, I'll create a new here, and all what you have to specify is the name of the type of the document. I'm going to say here, for example, I'm going to have something called scenario or whatever, use case document. Okay, just to make sure that I did not make any spelling mistakes. Fine, I'll save that. And once I do this, the document type appears here. By the way, this is another view of the same project management screen. So right here, model, manage model, and document types is here. So if I were to go here, we're making a slight change in that user interface. But here, the one I just added, because it starts with the U, it should be at the end, roughly close to right here, use case document. If someone looks at any one of them and want to edit it, you can edit it. Absolutely, you can say this one here, we change it. We want to call test plans and design, whatever. Okay, and just simply save or update. The only thing that's happening here is that Rommana makes sure that you don't have 2 document types that have the same name or same type. The same is true up here with models. The same thing. Some of the models here are activity diagrams, class hierarchy diagrams, data flow, decision tables, and so on. And you can add or remove or edit any one of them. Once you define those, that's it. That's all what the project manager has to do to define the document types. Now, you go on the top here, it says documents and models. Now, this is when people start working with the project and they start adding documents. When you do that, on the left here, you can see the document hierarchy and the model hierarchy. It depends on which one you want to work with. Let's for now just collapse the model hierarchy. Let's just click on the models for now. Okay, so at this point, all these types that have been defined and they appeared in the previous screen, but now on this view it tells me that, for example, let me just expand this window right here. I have a model, a document type here called requirement traceability matrix and the plan. All right. If I were to expand this, I have two documents here. They're having the same name. In fact, it's one document that has two versions. This is right there to explain to you that Rommana will support versioning of documents. So if I were to click on this one, for example, it'll show me the details of that document. Very simple, very simple. It'll show me the document name, the version number, which is version 1. It shows me it's a requirement traceability. That's the same type we were looking at, requirement traceability matrix document. And the status is still draft. We're still working on it. The status is modifiable or configurable by the project manager. You can add whatever status here. Those are the ones that are initially built into Rommana: draft, final, under development, under review, approved. You can add rejected, and the way you do this, you add it from the project management screen. There's an option here. If I were to click there, that says configure attribute values. When you see configure attribute values, that's where you go and configure all kinds of things, from status of test cases to status of bug reports to status of documents and so on. Here you got the opportunity to add the author, and also you have some description about this document. And here, this is the last modified date. This is the date this last document was modified. This is not an automatically captured date. This has to be entered by the person who logged the document. Why? Because the document could have been updated last week, and we're just logging it now. So in a way, when I get a document and I wanna see when was the last time it was updated, I log this date, and there's a calendar here. I can enter the date. But as it stands now, this document was last modified on December 4th. All right. Now, this is the date that was updated. Okay. I'm sorry. That should have been uploaded. That's simply saying when we uploaded the document, it was uploaded on the 27th. So when you upload a document for the first time, the default last date uploaded is today's date, the date when you did the upload. All right. Now here is the actual physical document right here. If I were to click on this, and please understand that I was doing testing here, so this is not a real document. So if I click here, it'll just allow me to open the document. The document is sitting on the Rommana server. Okay, there's a place on the server where this document is stored. I can open it now. I can edit it as I wish. All right. Wow. Obviously, that was a graphic file. That is the screen design for the Rommana software.com website. It's not meant to be. When I was doing testing, I was just going, so I'm going to close it here. I'm not going to edit that, but you can imagine this should have been really a typical document, like a matrix or a spreadsheet or something. All right. Now here is interesting thing. When this is version number 1, and now let's click on version number 2. So let me expand this here for a little bit. This is version 2 of the same document. Why is it the same document? Because it is the same name. So the document has the same name, but that's version 2. And by the way, this is read-only. This is read-only, and I'll show you in a little bit how you create different versions of the document. This is still in draft mode. All right, now let's assume that someone is going to open this document. They're going to change it. So now they're going to change the document. So let me just go here, and this is all testing. So I'm going to attach anything. Now I'm going to go to my local machine here, where supposedly I have the document that I need to upload. And let me just go to my computer here, and I'm going to grab any document. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, I'll show you. I'm showing you. So the assumption here that I have the document, I edited it, so I'm kind of trying to upload a new a new version of the document. Well, actually, I am changing the document now. Whether I'm going to create a new version or not, that's going to come later. But let's go ahead and it doesn't matter. We'll create bugs, whatever it is. So I'm just picking up a file here. Okay, so I got it. So I'm going to upload it now. And when this simply saying I am changing this file with this file. If I'm gonna have the same file, it should be the same name. So which means if someone took that file and edited it, so I should upload the new or the revised version of the file. When I try to click upload, all right, Rommana will come here and tell me, would you like to create a new version of this document or model? If I said no, it will upload the new file and it will replace the old file and it will keep the version as version 2. If I say yes, it will allow me to upload, but as you can see now, the version will be increased by 1. So now I am uploading version 3. This is now bugs.doc. This is the document now, and this is version 3 of the document. As I said, if I'm really uploading a new version of the same document, then most likely I'm using the same document name, okay, or the same file name. But it doesn't matter. The document name is right here. This is the actual physical file name, which means I can have, for example, a test summary report 0101 whatever, okay, and now I created the version, and in the new version I named it differently. I named the file differently. I can upload a different file, and I say this file represents my test summary plan, whatever, but that's a version 3 of that. So really Rommana helps you, or actually allows you, to separate the name of the physical file from the name of the document. If you want to keep them the same, there is no harm at all. Now let's assume for now I'm going to say this is now final because we made all the additions, and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to save now. I should also, okay, now what is this question? Let me explain here. Down here, as you can see, you can attach requirements to this module, to this document, or vice versa. You can attach this document to a requirement. What does this mean? If this document is specific to a specific requirement in the project, now I can do that. I'll say yes. For now, let me just save without attaching requirements. Rommana just is making sure that you have not forgotten to add the requirements. So, and if you did not have requirements attached, that's fine. And in about 90% of the time, your documents are going to be what we call a project level documents. But remember, every once in a while, you get you get a requirement, and the requirement is explaining certain functionality. And that certain functionality has some file that explain it further. So you can upload that document, and you can come down here and you say, you can say this document actually applies to a specific document, a specific requirement. So I'm going to go here and click on select deselect requirements. Okay. Now, if I had any requirements defined in that project, which I believe I don't, it will list all the requirement tree here. And I can select any one requirement, or 2 requirements, or 3 or 6 requirements, and move them to the right. So the box on the left, has all the requirements in the project. The box on the right has the attached requirements, which means the requirement or requirements that are relevant to this document, or the requirements for which to which this document is relevant. But again, as I said, 90% of the time your documents are going to be project level documents. So for now, I created version 3 of the document, and that's about it. I don't have a description because that's known what that is. If I have a description, I would add that, and I did save, and I saved to that requirement doc. As I said, let me look here. I'm going to click just for the now you see what happens here on the left. I had version 1, I had version 2, now I created version 3 of the same document. but the file was different. I can go now and do the same thing with those models. Let's assume that under models, for example, I have here, I got a decision tree. All right, so I am going to click on that. I am going to create a new file that describes a decision tree. Typically, you will find that models are associated with requirements more often than documents associated with requirements. So if I have to say a word to say something about the difference between models and documents, documents are likely to be a project level documents. Okay, so a requirement document, a test plan, whatever. A risk analysis document. However, models like entity relationship diagrams, decision tables, decision trees, whatever, they may in fact apply to specific requirements. Before I do that, let me check if I have any requirements attached to this project. Well, guess what? It is true that I don't have any requirements. So that project does not have any requirements. That's why I could not attach that document to any existing requirement. So I'm going to go back here to models or documents and models, and I'm going to expand models. I'm going to go here to decision table, for example, and I will create one document or one model for a decision table. And the same thing, you'll find that it is very much the same screen. It has the name of that decision, so I can call this, for example, if I have a decision table that determines loan approval process. This is typically what decision tables are used for. If I have a loan approval process and I have a decision table that describes exactly the criteria, I'm going to call it criteria, something like that. All right. So that's the name of my model. Now, what's the name of the file that actually describes that model? It could be almost anything. I'm going to say this is a draft. I am going to say that's a decision table. Now, interestingly enough, every once in a while, you get someone who looks at something at a file like this and say, well, no, that is not actually a decision table. That is actually an equivalency class or an entity relationship or whatever it is. So it looks like the person who created the model sort of classified it. And the same happens with documents, by the way. If someone creates a document and call it a test plan, and someone comes back and says, well, no, that's not a test plan, that's actually a test design. So they go to test design, and so you can change the type anytime, and the changing the type does not affect anything except just saying this is a type of this document. All right, you can again do the same thing. You can identify the specific file that you're going to upload, and when you do that, it'll ask you. I mean, of course, the first time around when you upload the document, it will not ask you if you want to create a new version or not, because by default, the first time you create a document or a model, the version is version 1. It's only when you already have version 1 and you change the file and you try to upload another file, it tells you that, or it asks you, do you want this new file to represent a new version of the document? That's all what it is. The only thing that's left here that I did not explain really is the review process. If I created this document and I posted it online, I can go here and request a review. When I request a review, that's simply asking a number of people to review this document. And I can write a comment here for them. It says simply like this, a friendly comment. Hi, everyone. Please look at this and let me know if you have any comments. Right? Very simple. Or I could leave it blank if I want. I click submit. When I click submit, an email message would go to a specific number of people or a specific group of people who have been selected to review the documents. Okay? Now, how do we decide? How do we decide who reviews the document? this is the whole thing is established is done in what we call the collaboration center. If you click on the collaboration center here, there is a manage collaboration groups, and that is no, I should have saved it before I do that. So let me do this. So let me save. Of course, I have some required fields here. It would not allow me to save without specifying the physical document. So I'm going to go ahead and select any physical document. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm just going to create this. Assuming this is a file that has a decision table. That's a huge file, by the way. Bitmap. Maximum file size is 15 meg. I don't know how big that file is. But certainly let's not do that, because if it is, you know, the bitmap files are very huge and it might take a while to upload. So let me not choose a bitmap file. I better see the types here. Okay. Okay. Safe enough to do a PDF, right? All right, here's an invoice. Doesn't matter. So here's a document. Now I can upload. As I said, it will not ask me if I want to create a new version or not, because this is just a version 1. It uploads the document here, and it is version 1. And now, as I said, so let's save now. And every time I try to save, if I have not attached any requirement to the model, I mean, we've been debating about these kind of things, if we should continue to give the warning or not. I think, in my opinion, it's better to do this, because sometimes people forget. But we can as well just to remove this warning and let you save without any warning. So I'll say yes, I want to do that. All right. As I said, in order to determine or to specify data entered is out of range. Because the date here is blank. The last modified date. So let's say that was modified sometime last week, if I remember. Just doing that, I'm safe. I have requested myself to the developer to change that message, because it should say this cannot be blank, as opposed to saying out of range. This is a kind of not accurate error message, but this feature has been built in very recently, and when I looked at this message one time, I did not like it. So I believe the change has been made. It just the code has not been integrated yet. All right. As I said, if you go here under Collaboration Center, okay, now I saved. All right, Collaboration Center, and now under Manage Collaboration Groups, that's where you manage who is supposed to receive an email for what. And here are all the activities and these are two. Remember, this is a test project, so I only have my one person here and another person and so on. So I'm gonna cancel the changes here, but that's where you specify who is supposed to receive the email for reviewing documents, for reviewing requirements, for reviewing scenarios, for reviewing test cases, and so on. All right. What happened here? I thought I canceled the changes. I said yes. Oh, of course. So back to my models and documents here. All right. That's about it. That's all what Rommana does at this point in terms of managing documents and managing models, and allows you to specify different types of models and different types of documents and maintain the documents. I expect this feature to be enhanced and elaborated on very soon here, because this is one of our latest features that have been added. But we understand that there's so much to do about requirement management that we have a number of features in the pipeline, or I should say in the backlog, to be implemented.